Are you worn out and exhausted and you have nothing left to give, but then you have kids, husband, business? If you're running a business or you're working for someone or you're trying to run a side hustle and grow things and you're just depleted and you don't know if the last time you've done anything for yourself or had any quiet time and you've wanted to even read a book or go get a massage or just do something for yourself or go out with your girlfriends and you're like, I don't even remember the last time I did that. Is that you? Because if that is you, that is the majority of women, especially women that are working, that are moms, that are married and have jobs that are really demanding, or you're working in companies that you're an executive level, or you run your own business like myself. This is like the biggest problem I see women facing in business and women facing in life in general. And it is a huge red alarm and red flag to me when women don't know how to take care of themselves. And it is interesting that I did a survey on women in real estate. It's called Wire, and it's a Facebook group. And I was just curious, what is the biggest pain point or gap people are feeling in their life in real estate? Because real estate's a really mishmash of all types of people working it, right? We have men, women, all ages, married, non-married, single, young, old. And so it's a great place to kind of survey people and see what's happening in their life and business. And so I had to ask these women, since I'm really focusing on talking to you women out there, if that's you, are you a mom? Are you a wife? Are you a single woman out there just exhausted and depleted and you don't know why? It's because you're not prioritizing self-care. And I know you guys have heard this. It's a buzzword. I see the hashtags all the time on social media. Hashtag self-care. Hashtag do this. It's almost like it's a luxury, or, oh my God, you should feel so grateful that you have self-care. It needs to be a priority. We have a priority problem in this world, not a time problem. And I really want that to land for you, because it's something that has been really, red alarms for me in my life. And I've noticed such a significant difference when I prioritized my own self-care. And I'm still working on it. So trust me when I say I struggle every day, just as you moms out there are doing with many things. I have an 18-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old daughter. I have been married for many years. We work together in business. We run a household. We have 2 dogs. Our moms are still alive. We work with them. We have businesses that we're running. Gosh, I coach. There's so many things pulling at us all the time. And more than anyone, I know that feeling when someone says to me, I don't have time, or I can't do that, or I can't afford that. These are all the roadblocks that you tell yourself that you're basically not worthy when it comes down to it. How dare you as a woman demand time for yourself? How dare you take away from your kids and your husband or your wife or your partner or the business to do something for yourself? And I know that feeling because I used to watch my own mom go through that. And she's an immigrant woman. She's Korean, and I'm Korean, as you know. And growing up, I used to see my mom work herself to the bone. And I don't think I ever saw my mom get a manicure in her entire life. I don't ever think I ever saw her take care of herself. I didn't get that example. So I don't know how many of you are like that. I'd love to know. Comment below if you struggle with that. And if you have a hack, I would please share it in the comments. I would love to know your hack so I can share with others. And this video maybe needs to turn into something bigger, because I think there needs to be a movement in self-care. What does self-care mean to you? Because self-care means different things to different people. For me, self-care is sleep. My gosh, I need to sleep more. I know I need to sleep more. My body needs it more. I'm getting ready to turn 49, and I know it's different than when I was 20 years old, right? We have stages in our life. Where are you at in your life? Are you super young and have all the energy and you can bounce back? I remember we used to hang out all night long and have so much fun, and they could get up on 4 hours of sleep and have no problem day after day. Now, if I try to do that, I am wiped out. I don't know how many of you are out like that, but I can't do it. So one of the things is the discipline to give yourself sleep and to know when you need rest and to stop. Because what happens when you go so hard and you get sick? Because our immune system is down and the stress is there, so we get sick. And then if you get sick, if mom gets sick, all hell breaks loose, right? Because if you get sick, then nothing gets done. The world shuts down. So I wanted to do this video because I think there's such a need for women to really stop right now. It's the holiday seasons, or we've just gone out of the holidays if you're watching this, and you're probably exhausted from doing all of the things, the cooking, the cleaning, the preparing, the holidays. I am so grateful, and I'm gonna preface this by I have an amazing partner in life. Michael is an amazing human being, and all of you that know him knows that he's a true partner in my life. He does a lot of the kid stuff, probably the majority of all the kid stuff, house stuff, and all the things, and we really work really well together. But we have navigated over 20 years together, almost 30 years in doing this. Trust me, it was not easy in the beginning. So I would say one of the biggest things about self-care is knowing who you are married to or who you partner with. Make sure that when you are interviewing or dating or anything in life that you're creating partnerships in business, in life, that it is a good match for you and that basically this person complements your needs. So like if you're good at one thing, let the husband be good at something else, or you guys can tag team on what needs to go on, because I guarantee you your spouse also needs to have some self-care as well. So I didn't mean to ramble on that, but I really wanted to touch on that subject of like, let's stop. And really all of us need to commit to self-care. First of all, I want you to think about is, what about self-care is so difficult for you? That's the number one question. Why are you sabotaging your self-care? So if you make an appointment for yourself, is that the first thing you give away if a client comes in? Or do you hold those appointments sacred? So time blocks in our calendar are really appointments with yourself, whereas appointments are appointments with other people. So are you giving away your time block that you've set across, and when we've talked about scheduling and calendar blocking and all those things, but I'm curious if that's what you're doing. And if you're doing that, you need to stop. You need to not allow those spaces to be taken from you if you've blocked it out for you. Sometimes it's easy as taking a 10-minute walk down the street to clear your head, to walk the dogs. Sometimes it's going to lunch with your loved one. Sometimes it's just that fun coffee or a glass of wine with your girlfriend. If you're missing out on those opportunities to connect and feed yourself, those are self-care as well. It's not just going to the spa or getting your nails done. I mean, those are great too, don't get me wrong. But I want you to think about, what does self-care mean to you and where do you need help in getting it? There's something called giving and receiving in life, right? There's giving karma and receiving karma. And this is something really amazing that I learned and something I want you to think about. So much of what we do in life as moms, as women, as wives, as colleagues, as business owners is give, right? We're giving, we're always giving, we're always trying to help, we're always trying to support, because that's a supportive role. Like women tend to be in that role very easily. Or you're leading, but you're still giving to your people, right? So are you receiving is the question. It's a full loop if you think about giving and receiving, right? It's like a pedal. And one of the things we need to get better with as women, and this is something I'm calling myself out with because someone called it out on me, is that I need to work on receiving. Just like receiving compliments. Are you that person that when someone says, that's beautiful on you, you're like, oh, this little thing, it's so silly. Receiving is really, really, really important. And part of that is for self-care. So if someone offers you to help, like, hey, I can pick up the kids this weekend. So many of us will turn that away because we want to wear that proud honor of, I can do it myself. We martyr ourselves because we say we can do it ourselves, instead of allowing and receiving the help that's out there, or letting people know, hey, I need help. Hey, I need to do this for myself. Can you help me? Hey, I need some time for myself, some brain space for myself so I can become a better person. Those are huge things to think about. So think about in your life, where can you do better receiving and where can you do better asking to get received? Because I guarantee you, most women out there, you probably have at least 10 people you could call on that would jump to help you if you allowed that space to receive. So please do that. That's a big, big key. So little small indulgences throughout the day is important for self-care. It's not about taking these huge blocks or going away all the time for these big vacations. Those are amazing too. I would suggest highly that you make it a priority to try to get away by yourself at some point, even if it's for a night, just to have peace and quiet, to think. Thinking is so important for human beings, to clear their minds, to have that brain space so you can give back fully. And there is that saying, I don't know if you've ever seen that, where you have a pitcher of water and you're pouring into it, and you can't pour any more water out if it's empty. So we all have heard that analogy given. You need to pour into your own pitcher before you pour into others. Because what the flip side I would suggest to say is, this is really bad, and I have been guilty of this as well, would be when you don't take care of yourself, what happens? If you're really honest, if you don't get the sleep you need, if you don't exercise and your body needs it, if you don't eat well, drink enough water, take care of yourself, what happens to you? There's resentment that builds. You're short with people. You're probably making poor decisions in your business and in life because you're probably not cognitively as sharp as you need to be. You're forgetting things. You're letting people down. You may not show up as your best version, and also we're vibrating really low then. The energy is so low when you don't take care of yourself. There's so many benefits to prioritizing self-care, and it's so unfortunate that's like the number one thing that came up is self-care, self-care, self-care. So my challenge to you out there is to figure out, what does self-care mean to you first? And where can you put little nuggets of self-care throughout the day and throughout the week? I think one of the best things I read about in a book called Tranquility by Tuesday is plan a small adventure a week, one small adventure, and one large adventure a week or a month. And kind of gives you something to look forward to, like surprise and spontaneity in life. And sometimes that sparks your ability to have joy and have fun and variety in your life, especially if you are someone that does the same thing over and over. Like you do laundry on one day and you clean on another day and you have to pick up the kids. If you have this crazy routine in life, doing a small adventure in life would be huge for you, especially if you can book it once a week. And it does make you kind of step out of your comfort zone and challenge you to kind of hit different neural pathways to find joy in different places. Another thing I think self-care is about is doing something that you love to do, whether it's a hobby, like if you're a crafter, or you like to, if you're an outdoors person, if you play a sport for fun, if you love to exercise, if you love to read, there are things that you can do to work it into your schedule. I think so many of us give up some of our passions and love. That's the first thing that we toss away, and that's what makes us who we are. And we have to remember how important that is. So if you can weave those things back into your life, if you're running a business, doing that with someone you do business with. Like if you love sports, maybe do something with sports with a colleague of yours or your spouse or your kids. Like weave those things that make you have joy. And that's part of self-care as well. It's not just going to the spa, like I said, and getting your nails done. Self-care means so many things to people, but it's about doing the things that fill you up and make you whole as a human being. So first, figure out what they are. Second would be schedule little small indulgences. 3 would be to do your little small adventure once a week, and then one large adventure once a month is the goal. And then also weaving something that you love and care about, like a hobby or some passion that you have, back into your life. So those are the 5 things I would do to start off with self-care. And I feel like this is a topic that we need to revisit and remind people over and over and over again. That's what makes you amazing as a woman, is that it makes your fabric so much more vibrant if you can learn how to take care of yourself so that you can give back to the people that you love. And I guarantee your kids are gonna see it, your husband's gonna see it, everyone around you is gonna feel that energy and that vibration higher. So what you do is, if you take care of yourself first, fill that cup up first, I promise you, everything in your life will fall into place better. And I know it sounds crazy, it's like the cart before the horse to even think about that, because you're thinking, but I have all of these things that I have to do that are a priority, I can't do that. That's what you tell yourself, that's what's gonna happen. But if you say, no, I must make time for myself first to do the things I need to do to make me better, stronger, happier, fulfilled, then I can give. Try that out. I'm just curious if you did that even as a habit a couple times a week, or just followed some of these things I suggested. I'm just curious if your life would be so much more fulfilled and you wouldn't have that empty feeling of like, I need self-care. All right, if you like this content, please subscribe and follow. I love everything about the self-improvement and development journey. And I think us women out there have a lot to show. And as you're going through the phases of life, there's gonna be many versions of you. Try to tap into your best chapter yet. I'm so excited to navigate with you. Have a great day.